So in this episode, we are joined with Devin and Suyash. Guys, welcome.
Let's go.
Guys, can you tell us a bit about yourselves?
Well, I'm Devin, so I'm studying a Bachelor of Arts majoring in Politics and International Relations and History. And I like to do lots of different things, but I guess in terms of hobbies, I like to do, hang out with friends or, make food or, go kayaking or diving,
Yeah, sweet. Nice.
Hey guys, I'm Suyash. I am the treasurer for this year for FSA, and I study Bachelor of Engineering. Same with Carlo. We're both big engineering.
How's that going for you, bro?
Yeah, let's not talk about that. So for my hobbies, I would say same as David, like hang out with friends and stuff. But obviously in quarantine, it's not fun. I like playing sports as well. So
yeah.
It's cool.
So talking about the topic of redefining happiness, a lot of us, I suppose, struggle with defining happiness and what it really is. I guess it became about money, wealth, and power, which, if you think of it, a lot of BS. Did you guys struggle with that as well?
Well, I used to. Not so much this year, but I guess one thing I used to always be into, like, branded clothes and kind of, gold watches or, just kind of giving that appearance of wealth. But then I guess as time went on, I kind of realized that it's a waste of money half the time, and and I guess the other one for me too was I used to revolve a lot of my happiness around like motorcycles. So it was more just like riding them and that sort of thing. But I'd literally wake up every day and all I'd think about is motorcycles and that, and I was always unhappy if I wasn't riding them and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I kind of broke out of that, and tragically though, I had a friend who enjoyed riding motorcycles and he crashed, but it was more like when I went to his funeral afterwards, like just seeing the pain on the family's faces, and that made me realize that happiness to me now is more about like spending time with like friends and family as well as being comfortable with myself. And even though it was a tragic situation, I'm like, I don't ride motorcycles anymore, and I spend more time with friends and family or FSA now.
Yeah.
I think I actually agree with that as well. I feel like understanding what happiness is and like where it comes from as well, it's pretty hard, and especially like when you're like young and stuff, like when you're our age or like younger, I feel like since you don't know much about yourself and like the world, you seem to be misled by a lot of things, whether it be movies, media, and stuff like that. And I feel like just following all of that, or like when I was younger, was a big thing in my life. Like just, it's like that actor does this, so like I want to do that too, kind of thing. Like that person does this, I want to do that too. And I feel like now it's even worse because of like social media and stuff. Like people think that like, that guy's like out in Hawaii, like I want to go out on a holiday as well and stuff. So like, I feel like it's hard to know what and how like the happiness is for yourself. And what I learned over the years, like it has been such a big like change to my life. Like comparing myself with others was often like the best way of finding happiness. Like maybe sometimes I'll be like, I'm doing the same thing. Like I'm happy now. It'll be very like a short-term happiness instead of like a long-term happiness kind of thing. Yeah, I agree with Devin where he said like spending time with family and friends. Like it's very, I would say, it's very personalized. Like every person will have a different definition of happiness, but at the same time, I think just learning and growing into what it is instead of like comparing it to others.
I feel like happiness can be linked to the phenomena called imposter syndrome. What is imposter syndrome?
Yeah, so I feel like imposter syndrome. So how like people define it in like big terms is like diminishing and discounting your obvious evidence of your abilities. So what it means is that if I achieve something big, or if I get an award, I'll feel like that I don't deserve it because I know that like I'm not good enough. I know I don't deserve it, and it was just a mistake that I won that award for. And I feel like an imposter, and it kind of dwells into like that fear is like someone's just gonna find out really quickly. They're gonna be like, oh, he's an imposter, and they're gonna like, someone's gonna figure it, gonna kick me out, kind of thing. So that's why the syndrome is like feeling like you're not good enough for an achievement, and or for something doing. And I think there's a common belief that only overachievers or like high achievers go through this imposter syndrome. But in actual like life, 70% of the people go through it. So yes, it's a bit more common in high achievers, but it doesn't have to be. And a lot of people who are like just normal daily life, they still feel like they're imposters. So it's pretty common. And I mean, pretty sure everyone's heard of like Albert Einstein, right? So he had the imposter syndrome as well. So like, no one has it. We're not alone. Definitely not. So that's what the syndrome is.
Not to a large degree that it greatly affects my life, but I guess one thing that I kind of feel like is I find it hard like accepting praise. Like even if I do a good job with something like at work or I get a good grade at uni and then people praise me on what I do or my accomplishments, I always find it hard accepting it because I always feel like I don't kind of deserve it. Like even though I've done the work, it's just I guess it's hard for me because like I didn't really do like year 13 properly and I struggled with school, but I always persevered, and after having a few years I did a foundation certificate at uni and and then I started my degree and stuff. But I guess that's where it all stems from, because back in high school I never felt like I was smart enough or good enough, but even though now I'm obviously better, I just still find it hard to accept the fact,
I feel you. Like that's how I feel as well. Even now, I think that as I grew older and like I've immersed myself to more activities, I'm more critical now. But the feeling of like not earning your accomplishments, you might just say to yourself, "Oh, I don't deserve this. Maybe I just got lucky."
I think for me, like even like just like Devin said as well, I feel like I've experienced it more in high school years. Like every time I achieve something, I feel like that was just luck. Like I don't deserve it. I didn't do great. Like it wasn't that, it wasn't. But it definitely is like that. And I feel like now it's a bit, when high school years, when it was a really big part of my life, I think now it's a bit like less. So instead of going for like feeling like I'm posting everything, I think there's still a couple of things that I feel like I don't deserve them. Yeah. And there's other things that I'm like, okay, maybe I do deserve it. But there's still some things that I'm like, oh, like, I totally don't deserve that. Like I didn't do enough work for it, for example.
True.
Yeah.
And it's, I said, it's normal. But when it affects your happiness and how you see yourself, that's when I feel like it becomes an issue. Have you guys thought of solutions of how to mitigate that feeling and look at it in a different way?
I guess personally, I've over time I've learned to like accept praise more and like not be so hard on myself, because I've no matter what I did, I always would have self-doubt and stuff. But I guess now I kind of, when I take a step back and look at what I've done, I kind of I feel like, okay, I am good enough, because otherwise why would I let's say get this grade or accomplish this or that if I wasn't good enough, so
True.
Just have a positive mindset to everything I do.
I think I do agree with that, Devin, as well. I feel like one of the best ways of like dealing with it is, first of all, like knowing that it's very normal. Even if you feel like you're the only one, trust me, you're probably most likely not. And I think what I found was, like Devin said, reflecting on your work as well. So every time you get an achievement, do track back to see how much you worked for it. And that would put it to perspective, like, oh, I actually worked for it, so like I actually deserve it. So I think that's really good ways of like kind of telling yourself as well, like, I actually do deserve it. And I think something else that also helps with it as well, kind of talking about it. It's very clear.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, most of your problems, if you like just have someone to talk about, feel like if you talk to them about it, it really helps you voice your thoughts. And once you voice your thoughts, you understand sometimes how stupid they can be. And you, once you voice, you'll realize how stupid or how rude they are in a sense. And then that's when you should realize that, like you are actually not as bad as you thought you were, and you deserve a lot more than you give yourself credit for.
So coming back to happiness, are you guys on the right path in your life so far, do you think? Are you doing what you love? Are you
I think for me personally, I'm definitely on the right track because, I think what helped me was taking that next step to going to university and then, just having goals and just, some structure in my life and things to work towards. And also I've made it a goal of mine to go into the Air Force afterwards. So I've kind of got a pathway that I can follow now, whereas before I didn't. And I guess socially, because that's obviously a big part of life. I guess socially, I'm real happy now compared to how I was, like, let's say 4 years ago. So I feel like life's gotten better through the struggles, and
I think for me, like I don't really have like a set goal. It's my goal is pretty broad as well, and considering that, I feel like yes, I am on track because right now what I'm studying and what I'm doing is I definitely enjoy it. It's not something I don't enjoy. So like the projects we've been working on and stuff, I definitely do enjoy them. So I feel like in terms of fulfillment, yes, I'm on the right track and like doing what I kind of enjoy or like learning what I enjoy. So in terms of that, yes, and in terms of like everything else as well, like socially. So that was just academically, but like socially and stuff. I feel like I am like I'm at a fulfillment level kind of thing, like where I'm happy with where I am. And I think it came from mostly just learning and redefining happiness in my life, just learning from my own experiences and like understanding where the true, happiness for me lies instead of like comparing to others. Because if I still do that, if I still compare my life to others, my happiness wouldn't really be as much as it's right now.
Yeah.
I think for me it was mainly the transition from year 13 of high school to first uni. I think that was the main. I think that is a big like turning point for a lot of people because like high school and uni are like very different in terms of workload and stuff and just everything. And I think late end of my year 13, I realized that it was a very like hard and tough and like really bad kind of time where I was kind of really not having the best time of my life. So and I think just from there, I realized that I need to change something about how I'm dealing with things in my life. And then and then here we are at 3 years into uni, and I'm kind of enjoying. Like first year uni is always like not the best. Like you likely won't enjoy it. Like I don't know many people that enjoyed it. So I think just understanding that is a thing. Like first year uni is not the best, but once you get second year, just understanding yourself a lot more, I think you'll find more happiness in things that you already have. It's more about being happy with what you have and missing than wanting more to be happy. Because you'll never.
Yeah, as long as you know what you want to do in life, as long as you know your path, then it's just gonna be straightforward from there. In contrast, happiness is kind of hard to figure out.
I mean, I'm not sure how to word this, but I guess maybe it depends more of what you like put weight on. So like, if that makes sense, like if you focus more on success, then it's easier than happiness. But if you focus more on just being happy and content, then that can make success harder, maybe.
Yeah, true. True. Yeah, I understand that.
I think, in my opinion, I feel like for me, success and happiness kind of very closely related for me anyway. Like success has a very different definition, similar to happiness. Everyone has their own definition for like both of them. And for me, the definitions are very closely related. So if I was to define my success, it would be if I'm happy in life kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then honestly right now, I don't know what will make me happy in like 5 or 10 years. Like I don't even know. Like right now, yes I do, but like in 10 years I won't know what will make me happy. So but I can imagine what my success could be in 10 years. So I guess you're right on that, where like achieving success is way easier than achieving true happiness.
Well, for you guys, what makes a good life?
I guess it's less about the material things these days, and I guess for me, a happy life is obviously being healthy, appreciating each day, because as there's a saying that goes like, "Old age is a privilege denied by many." I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Also, my happiness, like a happy life, is just spending time with the people I love and care about, as well as having, I guess, something to work towards in life, so I'm not just drifting, just to keep me on track. Yeah, I guess that's for me.
Yeah, we're kind of the same in that way, like being healthy, especially now that we're going through something that's scary, and that's the most important thing. So Suyash, what about you?
What makes a good life? That's a pretty hard question to answer, I would say. I think, I don't know. I feel like for a good life, it really comes down to, again, like what you think of a good life. I think for me, right now, I would say a good life would be just enjoying being like happy with what we have. Because right now we're all in quarantine, and it's like probably not a good life, and I'm not enjoying it the best. Because like I'm an extrovert, so as an extrovert, I feel like just being able to like hang out with friends and going out and stuff. So that's really a big part of it. But I think, like what I've said earlier as well about happiness and all that. So I enjoy what I'm doing. I think, just doing what you kind of enjoy is a very big key to like a good life. Like if you're not doing what you enjoy, trust me, you rather like just change that now before it's too late. If I'm not enjoying something, I will drop it. That's like, for example, if you think about it, in year 13, I was doing this paper, media paper I picked up. It's a subject, right? I wasn't enjoying it. I dropped it. Like I was like, I'm not doing this. This was like halfway through, and I was like, I'm not doing this because I didn't enjoy it. So it's like one example. In the bigger scale, it's like, think about other stuff as well. But I feel like as long as you're happy with what you're doing and also in life, everything else comes by.
True. What a good way to end our podcast, right? Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.
Fuck. Down, yeah. I've been feeling so down, yeah.